What?
Wait, I know someone who can do this better.
What? What? What?
Oh boy, it's been a long 2 years with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, hasn't it? And finally, we've reached the end. Thank God. I don't think I can complain about this game anymore. I really can't. I'm as tired as Eivor is. She's done with this crap, and so am I. So the last chapter was billed as the conclusion of Eivor's story. An end for her, and from the trailer it looked like an end for Odin as well. This final piece of DLC was pretty much as much of a disaster as all the other free DLC that's been put out over the last 2 years. Because Ubisoft made a bit of a blunder by releasing it a week early. Well done, Ubisoft. Personally, I didn't get off to a good start because when I booted back into the game, I was still in the Forgotten Saga game mode, and when I came back to Eivor, her hair was missing. I had to go and put her hair back.
Who says I had to go and put the hair back about loading into a game?
Anyway, do you want to know what the official description for this DLC was? Eivor's alliances are forged and her clan has its foothold in England. Now the time has come to terms with her visions of Odin. Join Eivor in her final journey as she meets with old friends and foes in the narrative conclusion to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This basically consists of going to 5 different locations, locating a memory fragment, syncing with it, and watching a cutscene. No missions, no gameplay, no real story other than Basim is playing about in the Animus and wants to know how things end for Eivor. Well, good luck with that, Basim, because honestly, I don't think we get that at all. The memory fragments don't even tie anything up. Eivor turns down Hytham's request to join the Hidden Ones again. She turns down the offer of becoming a Christian and becoming a Templar with Alfred, reaffirms with Guthrum that she's really not going to become a Christian, bounces off to Norway with Sigurd to drop in on King Harold, and then she sneaks out of Ravensthorpe under the cover of darkness. The worst of that one is, Valka is the one who catches her, and is the one who says goodbye, because apparently Eivor and Randvi have said their goodbyes. Yes, they've said their goodbyes off screen, and I was quite infuriated by that. I don't know if it's always Randvi that Eivor says goodbye to off screen, or if it changed depending on who the love interest was, if you went down that route at all. But what was the point? Really? By all means, if anybody had a different love interest other than Randvi, but please tell me if it changed or if it was just Randvi, no matter what. I'd be interested to know that. So Eivor's reasons to leave was to come to terms with Odin. But here's a funny thing. I thought that was part of the main story. You know, the point where she rejects Odin and chooses the people in the life she already has rather than the power and glory he promised her.
Wisdom. Glory. Power. What more do you need?
Everything else.
Did I miss something? Quite frankly, this did nothing to explain or tie up Eivor's ending. Actually, I think the fact that she gave up her place with her clan for Odin is a huge step back. As much as I've hated Valhalla and the long, drawn-out, convoluted story, one of the things I've loved is Eivor. Because we've had Valhalla for so long and had so much post-launch content, I feel Eivor was actually a very well-developed character. You saw her go from headstrong, glory-hunting warrior to a very balanced leader of her clan. You've got that in the main story of the game. You see Eivor start to prioritise alliances and resources for her clan over battling glory. With Wrath of the Druids, she's using that knowledge and level-headedness in other places with other clans. By the Siege of Paris, she's imparting her knowledge as a leader to someone else, and she's learned there's more to life than fighting. She wants more than that. She's tired of it. I always thought that would be the jumping off point for the end of her story. For Eivor to just walk away from her clan, the people that she loves and her friends, just why? Or because she doesn't think they'll understand what's going on with the Odin stuff. What? Eivor, you talk to a bird. I think they know you're a little bit different by this point. Some of them would have probably been willing to try and understand if you'd bothered to talk to them. If nothing else, they set up Assassin's Creed Mirage perfectly. There was a part where Basim gives a DNA sample, assumedly to use in the Animus and set up the next game. The computer stated that the genetic memories would be available in 29 days from that point, and I wondered if the next game was supposed to drop suddenly after the 29 days. Considering Ubisoft couldn't release the free DLC at the right time, I can't see them magically doing that with the next game, even if that would have been pretty cool. And speaking of the next game, and I'll say spoilers, sweeties, because Ubisoft didn't bother when they put this on their Twitter feeds, they threw one final mission into the game, which included Roshan from the next game. It was a miniature black box assassination, and all it did was remind me how terrible and broken the social stealth is in this game. It totally wasn't needed. We know Mirage is coming next. We didn't need this. I think all it's done is spoil that. So now we know Basim and Roshan both survive whatever the story in the next game is. I was so hopeful that this would be a fitting send-off for Eivor. So few protagonists in Assassin's Creed get a real resolution to their story. And as it turns out, Eivor has joined that club as she didn't either. I wouldn't have even been bothered about the nature of the DLC, or the lack of any real structure or content or participation from the player. I would have been happy with just the cutscenes, if they'd at least done the job they were supposed to do and tie up Eivor's story in a fitting way. She's given up everything she's worked for and gone off on her own to talk to herself. And that's her ending. However, in a way it seems fitting that Eivor didn't really get an ending to her story. This game's never been about Eivor, it's been about Odin. He was the one in the trailers, he's the one on all the box art, and everything in this ending is about him. Eivor's story ends for Odin. It's all about Odin. And Basim, but hey, had to set up the next game, right? Free advertising! In the past 2 years, I've sunk 225 hours of my life into this game. A situation mostly caused by COVID, I think. But Valhalla is by far the most played Assassin's Creed game I have. And you know what? I've hated just about all of it. Valhalla is the Assassin's Creed game I've loved to hate. I think it's shown the worst side of Ubisoft in so many ways. From the gendered marketing putting Odin on the cover, the bloated game that had nothing original and simply chased popular industry trends, the broken, free DLC, but the in-game store which worked perfectly for paid boosters and cosmetics. Then the paid DLC which was lackluster at best, and the copy and paste live service elements that never changed with each festival. I stuck around for Eivor because actually she developed, she grew, and I wanted to know how her story ended. I guess I'll have to keep waiting. For me, Valhalla has long overstayed its welcome, and now, finally, the time has come for me to delete the game from my PlayStation and put the box away. It's time to move on. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon with another video. And hopefully that video is not Assassin's Creed, because, you know, at this point, pulling my hair out with it.